Dear sisters, brothers, friends, fellow citizens of the world, I greet you on behalf of my family with the peace and love of Christ. Thank you for taking these moments to share with us through this medium as we continue our social distancing necessary to curb the spread of the coronavirus. As we reach out today, we invite you to join us in giving thanks that we have all come safely to the beginning of April, following a challenging March as a result of COVID-19, which brought sudden changes in the way we normally go about our lives. So welcome to a new month, and let us rely on God's unerring spirit to lead us in the days ahead. April 1st is commonly called April Fool's or All Fool's Day. It's a day when people play pranks on one another. Some speculate that the tradition might date back to 1582 when France changed calendars. Persons who were slow or failed to get the news that the beginning of the year had moved to January 1st and continued to observe it during the last week of March to April 1st were made fun of or had pranks played on them. There are two Psalms that come to mind, Psalms 14 and 53. These Psalms are almost identical, beginning with the words, "The fool says in his heart, there is no God." We can interpret these words to mean that it is not wise to say there is no God. Now, there are some people who believe there is no God. That's the position they have taken. In fact, there are various positions that people have when it comes to what they believe about God. There are people who at one time in their life held a strong belief that God is, but now find themselves doubting or no longer believing in God. One reason for this is that such individuals might have experienced some adversity, tragedy, calamity, or disappointment that led to a faith crisis, where they question not only the goodness of God, but also the reality and relevance of God, and opted out on believing in God. This was probably the case with Job's wife when all those bad things happened. The tragic death of their 10 children, the loss of their animals, and Job's affliction with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. The Bible records the following exchange between Job and his wife. His wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" We read that in all this, Job did not sin in what he said. In other words, through all his struggle, his adversity, Job did not renounce his faith in God. Interestingly, it is not only adversity that presents a challenge to belief or faith in God. Sometimes when individuals experience prosperity and success, they might begin to live as though there is no God. Or put another way, their egos become so big that there is no room for God in their life. Jesus told a parable in Luke about a wealthy landowner whose success seems to have led him to think that he had absolute control of everything. He never acknowledged God. Indeed, he lived as though there is no God. Then comes the sobering reminder in the parable. But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Who will get what you have prepared for yourself?" Luke 12:20. Friends, God is no hoax or prank. Life is a mixture of good and trouble. Don't let anyone fool or deceive you into thinking otherwise. Believing in God means that whether the times are good or whether there is trouble, we have a sure ground, a foundation on which to stand in the midst of life's changes and chances. Thank you, Japheth, for the music of Charles Wesley's hymn, Light of the World. God grant us that light and assurance of His presence, especially as we face this pandemic. Light of the world, thy beams I bless. On thee, bright sun of righteousness, my faith hath fixed its eye. Guided by thee through all I go, nor fear the ruin spread below, for thou art always nigh. God bless you.